4 years ago, I packed my luggage and flew to Australia by myself to study master degree at the University of South Australia. And honestly, I didn't know anyone here and have no idea what an international student is gonna look like. So if you are new here, my name is JC. So I have been living in Adelaide as an international student and now working here for about 4 years now. And I'm gonna share with you the real pros and cons of being an international student here in Australia. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share you my personal opinion whether it's actually worth it. So let's start with con first. So you probably have heard that the cost of living here in Australia is really expensive, and it actually is. So depending on where you're coming from, for me, I was genuinely shocked at how much things are cost here, like rent, grocery, transportation. And last year, my partner and I spent roughly about $4,300 a month, and that would work out to be about $2,000 per person per month. And honestly, that is a lot compared to where I'm coming from. And if you want a full breakdown of exactly where those money go, I will link one of my videos up here. And nowadays, things even be more higher. Like I went to Coles the other day, a 2 liter of milk costs $6.9 and a bread is anywhere from $3 to $6. And if you are international student, it's not just the living cost that you need to cover. You also have the tuition fee on top of that as well. So if you are planning on studying here, you need to budget really carefully. And there's some way that can help you save some money as well, like live in a share house or shop smart at place like Aldi or Central Market where there are discounts at the end of the day, and making sure that to always checking a weekly catalog for discount at Coles or Woolies before you shop. So those little things can make a huge difference. Con number 2 is finding a job as an international student is hard, especially your visa only limited you to work a specific amount of hours per week. At the time I'm recording this video, international students can work up to 48 hours per fortnight during study terms and unlimited hours during school break. So your income is already capped while you are studying, and some companies prefer to hire PR or citizen, and especially if your visa is about to expire, it's even harder for the recruiter to justify hire someone on a short-term visa. And on top of that, you are competing with everyone like other international students, immigrants, and even local people. For me, I remember applying for 35 places and it took me 3 months to get my first retail job at Woolies and then another 3 months to get my corporate job. So finding your first job here in Australia is hard because you haven't built the local experience yet. So it's gonna take time and resilience to land your first job here. And on top of that, your CV style that you use back home might not suit the Australian as well. So I recommend that you check one of my videos on how to get a job here in Australia to get some idea. Con number 3 is loneliness, and I think it's really hard, especially if you are moving to the new country by yourself with no friends or any support system. The first few weeks it feels pretty exciting to see new things and explore new city, but once you get to know more enough and the excitement settle down, the loneliness starts to creep in. So you start missing your home, your friends, your family and everything, especially when things get hard or when things doesn't go as planned. You start to question your own decision, like why I'm moving here in the first place. And those thoughts and feelings, I think anyone who have moved to the new country on their own would probably understand that feeling. And if you watch my pros and cons video of living here in LA, one of the cons of living here in LA is hard to make new friends because people here already have their own circle from high school or uni. So I didn't mean people here are not nice. So people here are friendly and nice. It's pretty hard to get deep and be part of their circle. So you have to put yourself out there and see the possible side of it. Con number 4 is visa stress, especially if you want to stay or work in Australia after you are graduated. So when you are on a student visa, you basically try to juggle everything at once. Like you try to keep up with the assignment, try to find a job, and at the same time, you try to watch the clock on your visa because the thing is, time goes so fast, and if you come to do the master degree like me, it's usually 2 years, and I'm telling you 2 years fly so fast. Like even for me, I've been here like for 4 years now, but sometimes I still feel like I'm playing catch up because there's always something to figure out and always the next step to plan for. And then there is a cost. So the visa processing itself is really expensive, and it doesn't stop at just one visa. So if you plan to stay after you graduate in Australia, you need to apply for more than one visa down the track, and each visa costs you money. So if you're looking at staying in Australia long term, my advice to you is start planning early. So don't wait until your last semester or after you are graduated. Try to look into your visa option even before you graduated. And if you can, get a proper advice from a registered migration agent. Okay, so that's enough for the cons. Let's move on to the pro, because honestly, there are so many good things as well. And I think this is the exactly reason why so many people, including myself, still choose to be here. Pro number one is quality of life, and I genuinely think Australia have one of the best quality of life in the world because the lifestyle here is so relaxed. So you can go to the beach, hiking, camping, exploring nature. So there's so much to do outdoor in Australia, and it's actually been recognized globally as well. Recently, 3 Australian cities featured in the top best 30 cities in the world according to Time Out. So Melbourne come in at number 1, Sydney at number 21, and Adelaide at 29, which honestly, as someone who lives in Adelaide, I will take that. And on top of the lifestyle, it does feel really safe as well. Like I genuinely appreciate this as someone who moved to the new country by myself. So I feel safe like walking around or catching the public transport. I know not everywhere is perfect, but compared to a lot of places, I think Australia feels really secure. Another thing I love is how multicultural it is here in Australia, especially in the city. You will find people from all over the world. There's a lot of community, restaurant, and even grocery store from all across different culture. And even sometimes when you feel missing home, you can always find your comfort food and being around people who can understand your background. And last but not least is a work-life balance, and this is one of the biggest surprise when I started working here in Australia. So if you work a corporate job like me 9 to 5, the culture around annual leave is just so different. There is no pressure or guilt around taking annual leave or sick leave because people here actually use them. And let me tell you something, one of my biggest culture shock when I started working here in Australia is to see how relaxing people are about taking long holiday. I remember one of my colleagues, he taking 6 week long holiday back to India. I was like, are you taking like 6 weeks? Because honestly, I never see anyone like taking like a full month holiday before. So honestly, Australia really value the work-life balance and your well-being. Number 2 is education, and I want to be honest with you by not saying it's good, but to tell you why it actually matters. So Australian universities are recognized globally. So when you are graduate, your degree does mean something. So whether you want to work here or go back home or move somewhere else entirely. Honestly, what surprised me the most is not the degree itself, but how I was taught here. So university here in Australia is very independent. So you are expected to do a lot of self-studying, do your own research, and then push yourself forward because nobody here is gonna chase you. At first, it feels a bit overwhelmed, but I think this is exactly how the real knowledge are built. And of course, your English will improve so much as well, not only in classes, but also through everyday conversation like group project or presentation. And at the same time, you will get used to thinking in English and start to expressing yourself more clearly in English and communicate with people from a different background. Pro number 3 is opportunity, and I think a lot of international students didn't realize how much opportunity is available to them, especially during their study. So when you are studying here, there are so many doors open for you like internship, placement, networking event, student program, career fair. So there's a lot of opportunity, open doors for you, and university here really invest in connecting you to the real world before you even graduated. For example, my partner, he is an alumni career mentor at University of Adelaide this year. sharing his skills and professional experience in IT industry to the second year graduate and a postgraduate. It is a 3-month program, and I think this is a great opportunity for international students to have a chance to speak with a real professional in the field so that he can provide you some guidance and coaching, especially he is come out fresh as an international student himself. And on top of the career mentoring, some university also offer like a free resume review or a mock interview. And I think a lot of international students never use it, including myself. So if you study in Australia, go and check with your university and go for it because it is completely free and you will get a lot of constructive feedback from it. So after you graduated, there's a post-study work visa. So depending on your degree and where you study, you can stay and work in Australia up to a few years after you graduated. And I think this is genuinely the best advantage of study here in Australia because you got to build your real work experience in the Australian company after you graduated, and those experience is very valuable in your resume and for your real life. And honestly, if you're studying here, please make the most out of it and take as many opportunity as you can. And pro number 4, and I think this is one of the most important one, is personal growth. And I feel like not many people talk about this enough because when you are thinking about studying abroad, you only think about your visa, your degree, your career, but nobody really prepare you for how much you're going to grow as a person, because moving abroad to the new country by yourself will change you a lot. I mean, it's changed you in the best possible way. For me, I have become so much more independent, more confident, and more resilient. So things that used to be so scary to me, like going to the new places, taking myself out for a walk, and not taking things personal if I got rejected like 20 times from a job application. So I just learned to handle those things by myself. Another thing that I didn't expect was the identity freedom, because when you are moved to the new country, nobody know you and nobody have the version of you in their head like from 10 years ago. So nobody really have an expectation of who you should be or how you should act. And I think this is really beautiful because you can get to decide who you want to be and building yourself from scratch without everyone else's opinion. And for me, one of the biggest piece of my personal growth is creating this YouTube channel. And I'm saying this as someone who genuinely introvert. Like I used to live in my own little bubble and just stay in my comfort zone. But I think Australians have challenging me to push myself forward and start to sharing my story, my idea, my thought, and my feeling to the world. I think it has been 9 months now since I started posting, and honestly, I still feel scared every single time, but I'm doing it scared anyway because I think that is the point. Like you don't wait until you are ready, you just do it anyway. So I think this is one of the best gifts when you are studying or moving abroad. And if this video has been helpful to you so far, please give it a like and a subscribe. It genuinely helps this video to reach out to more people who going through the same process and need to see this. Okay, so is studying in Australia actually worth it? Honestly, the answer is yes. But I also want to be real with you because this is not easy, and I think this is the part that not everyone say it out loud, because when you come here, you probably see like a beautiful photo, beaches, lifestyle, and the career opportunity. All of those are real, but so the cost of living, the visa stress, the uncertainty, so those also part of the journey as well. I think the most important you can do before coming to Australia is to set a realistic expectation, knowing that it will get hard sometime, knowing that it takes time and effort to find your people and places, and knowing that it is completely normal. And if you are someone who open up to the new experience and who is genuinely want to grow, I think Australian can give you so much more than just a degree or visa. It will give you the best version of yourself that you think is not possible. And if you're already here and going through hard time right now, I promise you it will get better. It will be. And I would love to hear from you as well, where you are in your journey right now. Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. And if you make it this far, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.